Welcome back to another podcast of Road to Abundance. Today we have Sara Al Madani. She's a friend of mine, guys. She's an amazing woman. I met Sara in Dubai, and since I think I met Sara 2 years ago, and since that day, I've just seen her journey go like higher and higher and higher. And I was like, let's get you on the podcast and share a little bit of your story because it's super interesting. Welcome to the podcast.
Thank you so much for having me. We've been wanting to do this for a long time.
Yeah, we recorded a quick podcast. I think it was on my cell phone. I think 2 years, 2 year and a half when we met. Maybe it's been 2 years. I'm with Sally, so it's more like 3 years ago. And then I ended up not posting it. I was like, let's do a new one.
Yeah, no, I appreciate it. And plus, I've also seen your journey go woof, and congratulations on
Thank you.
proposing, on the baby. I'm so happy for you.
Yeah, a lot of things happen. It's good. We both grew up so much, and I always love to see my friends like improving in their personal life, their business life. Everything is going the way that you wanted. Because I remember we had conversation, and now you're just doing what you said. So it's beautiful to see.
Thank you. No, it is. It is. You either do what you do or, don't talk at all. That's it.
Yeah, exactly. So tell us a little bit more, like for people that don't know you, it's the first time that they see you. Tell us a little bit your story and your upcoming and what led you to be the person that you are before we explain what you do today.
So, for those who don't know me, I'm a serial entrepreneur from the UAE. I'm Emirati, and I'm a single mom, and I'm a public speaker. So, the reason I am who I am today is because of everything bad that happened in my life. So I always tell people, pain either, it either it makes you or beats you. So you choose where to go. So,
Yeah.
and I'm a person that lives by my purpose, and my purpose is involved in my business. It's involved in my life, my relationships, and everything. So I live only to serve and to live by purpose. That's me in a nutshell.
Awesome. Awesome. And yeah, exactly. A lot of people, they're not succeeding and they might not have the result that they want because they use the story the wrong way. So instead of being empowered by it, they use it as an excuse of why they're not succeeding. You had some very hard event happening in your life. And instead of like crying on it or saying that, oh, because of that, I'm not successful, you use that to fuel yourself and learn from your mistake, which is beautiful. And when you say your purpose, what is your actual purpose right now? Like, because I know it can change. When you say I'm living my purpose, what is that?
So I know that purpose changes a lot, but I think the core purpose of a human being, of the reason you exist and the reason you're in this world, that doesn't change. My purpose is to educate and serve people with knowledge. That's my purpose. And I have so many other purposes that change all the time based on circumstances and all that. But my core purpose doesn't change. And that's when I found out my core purpose by being spiritual and by like having an awakening experience. And ever since, I shut down a lot of my companies and I reopened new companies with my purpose involved. And I feel as a human being very fulfilled because I am taking that route.
Yeah, that's amazing. I did very similar path. So I would love to hear the story. Like when you say you had a hard event happening to you, like explain me the upcoming, maybe what happened. Also, I know you had some toxic relationship. Now you're a single mom, which means there's something went south in one of the relationship, the business. Like start us from the beginning until you have this awakening and spirituality, which we'll talk a little bit more about after. What does that mean?
So before I tell you, let me just give a small story so people understand how I took whatever happened to me and used it to serve me. So
Sure.
I've heard a story once of like a very rich businessman, very successful businessman who has a brother who's like an alcoholic, who has nothing to do in life and who's basically a failure in life. And when they were both interviewed, somebody asked them, "Why are you this way?" Both of them answered, "Because my dad was an alcoholic." So one brother took that and ascended, and one brother took that and became a copy of the dad. So whatever happens to you in life, you are the master, you're the captain. You decide your journey. It's not the circumstances and the things in your life that decide that for you, because that means you have no control. You are the one in control. You can take that and turn it into anything you want. Now, my story started with like basically, I had a lot of businesses with a lot of partners. One of my partners was my best friend of 10 years, and she stole all my money. So when I was going through something like that, you know, your best friend, someone you look up to, someone you trust, and they backstab you like that, it's not an easy thing to digest. I'm not a person that cries over money a lot because I believe that money comes and goes and it's just paper, right? If you know how to do it, you can do it all over again. But the pain of being betrayed by a best friend took a toll on me physically, and it
Yeah.
manifested into diseases. Like I had an autoimmune disease. And then after that, I was going through a divorce with a toxic husband who was narcissistic and mentally and physically abusive. So I was basically bankrupt, going through a physical abusive relationship with a narcissist. And you know that just mentally screws you, you know? And going through all of that at the same time, just feeling like life is just closing on you, like everything's going south, basically. And I sat there for a while and I was like, I was bitter and I was like, oh, he's bad. Oh, she's bad. Oh, they did this. Oh, why did this happen to me? And then I realized by, you know, playing the blame game, as in they did it, they did it, they did it, they're bad. I felt like that didn't help me in any way. It didn't shift my life in any way. So then I decided to be more mature about what happened. And I was like, okay, they are who they are. I cannot change anything. It happened, whatever. It was unfair. But where did I go wrong? What did I do wrong?
Yeah.
Because, you know, it takes two to clap. It takes two hands to clap. So I try to focus on me and not on them because I cannot change them. Okay. And I cannot heal them. I cannot help them. And then I looked at myself in business. I realized that I had no contracts with my best friend. I never took care of the finances. I gave her all the rights to the finances, which was a mistake because when you have a business with a friend, you hang your friendship outside the door. So that was the mistake I did with my friend, with the business. Now with the relationship, I ignored a lot of red flags. I stayed where I wasn't valued. I accepted and settled for something that didn't serve me. Now the question is it really a red flag that he's a bad guy, or is the red flag that I knew he was a bad guy and stayed? So,
Yeah.
so then I was like, there is something wrong with me. I need to go figure out why do I do this? And I was young, so I didn't know anything about healing or mental health or anything like that. Yeah. So I was like, okay, I figured out I have something, and then I ignored it. I went into a second relationship. The guy had the same exact symptoms, like same personality as
Yeah.
the first guy. And then I was like, wait, the cycle, the patterns are similar. What's going on there? And then that ended after like a long time of me wasting years. And then into the third relationship. And the guy had the same symptoms. So then I was like, I'm pretty sure not all men are like this. So what's happening here? And then again, I decided to go within and try to understand what's wrong with me. And then I discovered healing, therapy, and self growth and all that. And then I realized that because as a child I was exposed to narcissism, so I thought that's what love is. So
Yeah.
when a healthy love comes my way, I reject it because I'm not used to it. And when something toxic comes my way, it feels familiar and it's an energy I know how to manage and I've been there before. So I took it because that is what love was for me. And they say when you're not fed love on a silver spoon, you learn how to lick it from a knife, you know? So, yeah, so basically, to me, because I didn't value myself, I didn't love myself, and I was exposed to toxic love, I thought that that is what love is, and I settled. So it's better the devil I know than the angel that I don't know. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, totally. I want to recap a few things before we continue the story because it's a lot of pattern that I did too. It's a lot of pattern that I see a lot of my clients do, and it's a lot of thing that a lot of people are doing. So one thing you did good is learn from your mistake, which took you years. So a lot of people blame themselves. You did 3 relationship. I did like 5, like in a period of like 5, 6 years. And we blame other people for not being what we want them to be, but it's us that should have changed. And then when you did realize that, now it's like, okay, if I work on myself, then I'm not going to attract those people. Or if I attract them, then I won't get in relationship, which come to boundaries. I love that you say self-respect and self-love, because I didn't truly love myself. I was a hot guy, like you're a hot girl. And you're like, I deserve love and I know I love myself, but do you really? If you accept those behavior, then you're like, oh, I don't really love myself. And maybe I don't have the self-esteem that I think I have. And what I have is an ego, like a very strong ego. So I see a lot of people are doing that. And one thing that I like is the subconscious programming, which is really important, is when you were a child, you got programmed that love is narcissistic behavior. And then if daddy or mommy give me love like that, then that's what I need in the future. And then your brain was conditioned or wired to go get that. And that's what you were doing with a lot of partner. And now you rewired your mind. So we were just talking before the call. Now you're like, I see those red flags real quick and it's not happening anymore.
Yeah, no, now because I'm, nobody's ever healed completely.
Yeah.
We're like work in progress. So now that I'm on a healing journey and it's been so many years, it's like you notice the red flags immediately. And yeah, and it's crazy because the more you heal, the smaller your circle gets, because you start to notice patterns, behaviors, issues. You start to notice how there are people who are not dealing with their own demons, and you can just pick it up by just sitting somewhere with them. So
Yeah.
but I'd rather have like 2, 3 people in my life than have a bunch of people that don't serve any purpose in my life or don't add anything to the table and just take from it. So
Yeah.
that's why like I'm a big advocate for like mental health and healing, and I try to educate people online a lot about these things and about narcissism, because being with a narcissistic partner can drive you crazy to the extent of committing suicide. It's serious.
Yeah.
So I just want people to take the time. It takes like what, 30, 40 minutes for you to go on YouTube and educate yourself, and you realize, oh my God, Josh, Sandy, Tom, they're all narcissists in my life. And why do I need them around me? It just opens your eyes so you can build boundaries, not only in relationship, but also in the workspace, because these
Everything.
leeches, they exist everywhere. Yeah.
Yeah, and I like that you say like boundaries is not only in relationship, because unfortunately you went in a, and I did the same in the past, but it didn't end up the same way. Like the business didn't work with friends and stuff, but there's nothing wrong with asking your friend for signing a contract. It's a business, and it's the same with like. It's the same with love. Like with Sally, I'm like, when are we gonna get married? Because I just proposed. I'm like, when are we gonna get married? There's gonna be a prenup to protect you and I, because I don't know who you're going to be in 10 years. Maybe it's me that's going to be fucked up. We never know what the person's going to
Yeah.
happen. And you just want to protect the other person. And then a narcissist would be like, but if you really love me, you don't need a prenup. Well, if you really love me, then you're going to sign the prenup because we marry for love. And then same in business. Why do you need a contract? We're a friend. Just in case anything happen, I'd rather have it. So if shit hit the fan, we know we're both protected. And if the person doesn't want to sign it and they're offended, that should be a red flag on every aspect of your life.
1,000,000%. The thing is, a lot of people need to understand that if your partner, whether it's business or relationship, they don't respect your boundaries, they're not for you. Because when you have boundaries, you're able to love them and love yourself simultaneously, like at the same time. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So you're honoring them and you're honoring yourself. And I'm more attracted to people who have boundaries and who don't step over their boundaries. I love that, because that just shows me this person honors themselves. Now, the thing is, if a person gets offended, whether it's a prenup or a contract or anything like that, and then they gaslight you into thinking that you are bad for asking for these things because you don't trust them, Some people might fall for it. When you don't value yourself, you're gonna go like, oh, when you're a toxic empath, you're gonna think, oh, I don't wanna make them feel uncomfortable or bad, so I'm gonna do whatever they want. But it's just all
Mhm.
manipulation tactics, and you just have to
Yeah.
build your, have immunity towards people who are like that.
Yeah, and I want to say something about boundaries, that just so if you're listening right now and you're like, but does boundary only apply to toxic people and stuff like that? No, because like when I met Sarah over 3 years something ago, I was meeting a girl there in Dubai. She came see me in Dubai. We were talking for over a year. The girl was an amazing person, but on my list of boundaries and stuff, I have things that the relationship that I dream of, the relationship that I wanted, and this person was an amazing person. It's just that we were not aligning on a lot of things that I was seeing. And I met other girl, and like I always compare it to cars because I'm a car guy. I'm like, what are you driving? And the person would be like BMW. I'm like, cool. Does it mean Porsche is shit? No, it just means you want a BMW. So sometimes boundaries can also just make you say no to an opportunity because you're focused on something else, or make you say no to a person because even if Sarah would be amazing, maybe she's not meant for me. And I'm just like, hey, I respect you, I love you, but we're not matching for whatever the core belief or value that we don't align. And it doesn't mean that she's toxic. It just means that I have those boundaries and those rules and it doesn't fit.
No, that's true. I mean, whatever you said is 100% right, and a lot of people do this mistake where they always go for what's better, but they don't settle for what's good for them. Instead of like saying, hey, this is good for me, it's what I need, they always look for what's better. Because right now in the world we live in, everything is easy. Accessibility, there's so much. Social
Mhm.
media shows you a lot of things, and you find men and women just not investing so much in relationships because there's always better. But the thing is, better doesn't have an end. There's always going to be better and better and better. You just need to find something that's good for your mind, body, and soul, and just stick to it.
Yeah.
Because that's rare. To find something like that is rare. To find better and better and better, it's easy. It's so easy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, to find hot people, you can find hot people everywhere. And I always tell Sally, like, there's gonna be other hot guy, there's gonna be other hot girl. I would be lying to say that I'm not attracted to any other woman. Like, it's like beauty is everywhere. Then love and the partnership is to understand what you have and what you value. And once you both know this, then that's when life is really happening.
Yeah.
And I really respect and see the change that you've done. And to go a little bit about your story, so you built all those businesses. Um, what made you change those businesses? What was the moment that you're like, I'm not happy in those businesses? And what were you doing before? And what do you do different today?
So for 20 years, I was a fashion designer, and I had fashion shows all over the world. It was a successful brand. But after my awakening, after 20 years of doing it, and it was making money, but I realized I never liked fashion. I'm not even a girly girl. So I think the only reason I did it is because I was conditioned by culture and society that women have to be in women industries and business. So a hair salon, a cupcake store, fashion designing, beauty. And then I realized, my God, I'm limiting myself by believing these things. So I had to like erase who they told me to be, how they told me to be, what they told me to be, and I wanted to figure out who I am. So I shut down the company and I took all my money and invested it in tech. So now most of my company are tech. And I love it. It's Everyone says it's like a male industry, but that's why I'm in it, to prove that there is no such thing as a male or female industry. Business is genderless, you know? I know
Yeah.
I know men who do hair better than women do, and I know girls who fix cars better than men do. So it's yeah. If you corner yourself into industries based on your gender, you're setting yourself for failure, basically.
Yeah. And what do you feel was the challenge like, or the struggle that came when you decided to do those things, and maybe what people were thinking, what maybe was your internal dialogue of like, am I really closing those business to go in a tech industry that it should be men industry? Like, what was the struggle, or maybe the, I know that also you had a lot of haters or people online, because when we posted together, I received a lot of DM like talking
Yeah.
shit. So How do you deal with all that? Because I know you're good at not listening to those voices.
Yeah. So basically, first, let me answer you about the haters. Um, why should a bunch of kids, keyboard warriors sitting behind a computer hiding their identity, phase me or stop me or affect me? At the beginning, it used to bother me because you're a good person and you're not doing anything wrong. Why are people talking about you? But then you realize that while they're doing what they do, I'm still growing. I'm still making money. I'm still transcending. I am becoming better and better and better while they sit there do nothing but hate. And then when you also mature, you realize that what people do is a reflection of their internal battles, and it's not about you.
Hmm.
So it's like, I don't care. You can hate me as much as you want. You can text everybody I know, tell them shit about me. It doesn't change anything in my past. I'm still going, I'm
Yeah.
still growing, I'm still flowing, I'm still glowing. I don't give a shit. Yeah.
Yeah, that's one of the four agreement. Don't take anything personally because people are just pushing a reflection of who they are and their internal struggle and pain into you. And how much pain does a person need to be for a complete stranger to hate you and send love? It's and send all those messages. It's like, so I know a lot of people are struggling with this. That's why especially, I mean, men too gets a lot of hate, but women also online, and I want to acknowledge it because I know you face that, and I know that that's the perfect way to deal with it. Just ignore it.
Yeah. Just ignore it. And the thing is, the haters went to the extent of like even texting brands that I collaborate with. They texted my investors. They texted family members. They were harassing everybody. And I think that it was a blessing in disguise because those who believed in me stayed closer and tighter and stronger, and those who never did just walked away and made space for
Yeah,
better people to come. So like I am there is something in my religion as a Muslim. There is something called the art of surrender. In Arabic, we say tawakkul. Okay, so it means if you learn how to surrender completely your fate, which means that whatever happens to you, whatever you go through, whatever you decide to do, no matter what it is, good or bad, if you surrender that God, or whether the universe for some people or anything out there, if you believe that God knows what's best for you and everything happens for you, not to you, life,
yeah,
you just flip the switch immediately. And in this way, no matter what negativity comes my way, what decision I take, good or bad, or anything bad that happens to me, I know not today, maybe tomorrow, maybe in 6 months, maybe in a year, this happened for a reason. Like, I'll give you an example, and I teach my kid this all the time. My son's leg broke. Okay, so he was crying. He missed out a month of school. He was like, "Why did this happen to me? What did I do wrong?" And I was like, "Baby, let's find the good in this. I'm pretty sure it happened for a good reason." As a child, he doesn't get it, but as an adult, I got it. But I applied the art of surrender, which is knowing that what
yeah,
happened to him happened for a good reason. A month later, when he went to school, because I was disconnected from school to take care of him, I found out the day he broke his leg and missed school, his bus had an accident and a lot of kids were injured. So, yes, his leg broke, which is bad, but that was the only way to stop the kid from going into that bus.
yeah,
So, yeah, so, just be patient. And once you flip your switch and you switch your mindset from life happens to me to life happens for me, the whole
yeah,
the whole game changes. Everything changes in your life.
yeah.
Yeah.
Totally, and I like to say you're exactly where you're supposed to be, and life it's meant to be the way that it is right now. So if you think things are not happening as fast, if you think right now you might be unlucky or whatever, it's just a perception of whatever. Because, like you said, an event is not good or bad. An event is an event, and we attach a meaning to it based on our belief or the situation. And then when you zoom out, or later 6 months later or whatever, like you said, you realize that this happened for a reason. Either you were not aligned, either it was a sign for something, but there is a gift that will come with that. And if you focus on finding the gift, everything's going to be amazing. But if you focus on finding the problem, you'll just find more and more problems. So it's good that you teach your son that, like, because it's hard to do all the time. But you have to focus on it.
Yeah. So the art of surrender is so hard to apply in the beginning, but once you apply it once or twice, then you are training your mind to be on autopilot, and then
Yeah.
you do it without thinking anymore. And my God, just life is so much easier and less heavier with this kind of mindset. And plus, like a lot of people, you're right. A lot of people, what they do is they dwell in sadness. And I always tell people that my biggest inspiration in life is death. And imagine you are dwelling in your sadness and you're wasting years and days and months and hours while you're upset. I mean, it's okay to honor your feelings. You have to honor your feelings and feel sad, but it's not okay to stay there. But knowing that an hour from now, I can be dead, because that's the only thing promised in life. Nothing is promised in life, nor success, no happiness, no money, no nothing. The only thing that's promised is death. And just knowing that in an hour I can be dead, I'm not going to dwell in sadness. Dude, I want to enjoy my life. I want to,
Yeah.
I want to live. I don't want to exist. Yeah.
It's funny because I was asking a video. I started a series. I need to go back now that I stopped traveling, but I was asking people, like, what would you do differently if I'm telling you you're going to die within a year? And that's exactly the concept of, like, we know we're going to die. We don't know when. And when I was thinking, like, when I went to do ibogaine and psychedelic, that's when I was like, when I got done, I was like, okay, I'll propose to Sally now. Like, because for me, marriage and all that stuff, I don't have any meaning to it. It doesn't mean love. For me, it's just a contract, society obey. It's a religion thing. So I was like, why should I do it? But she wanted her princess fairy tale, and for women, a lot of them, it's security. They want it. So I was like, why should I wait? If I know it's the right person, I never know. Maybe I won't be there in 2 years, and maybe she won't have that. So if I can give it to her right now, then I'll do it. And it's like, it's always doing your best life right now, whatever it is, for business, for friendship, for love, because like you said, you never know when it's going to be time up.
Yeah. No, the thing is also, when it comes to love, love is not an emotion, love is a decision. Because sometimes you feel like you want to kill your parents when you're upset, because you love them so much, right? Sometimes you feel like you can't stand your friends. You want to like choke them to death when they piss you off, but you still love them. So feelings go up and down, emotions go up and down. But love is a decision. When you decide to be loyal to somebody, when you decide to put someone's needs above yours, when you decide to be there for someone, and it's all a decision. And if you're basing these things on your feelings are going up and down, that means your loyalty is subjected to your emotions, you being there, you just being emotionally available and all of that. So love is a decision. And if your girlfriend values something you don't value, there's nothing wrong with signing that paper. Nothing, it's not the end of the world for you, but it makes your partner happy.
Yeah, and go all in with it. Not like, that's the thing, that a lot of people are doing things, but they're not going all in. It's like, if I want to make her happy, if it means something for her, then I'll go all in. I'll do a nice proposal. I'll get her the ring. I'll participate into the process, because maybe one day I want to go for a hike or do something that maybe she doesn't want to do, and I'll be like, she's doing it for me. And because loving someone is just doing things to make them happy, and like you said, it's choosing, because where your energy focused, that's where it flows.
Yeah.
So it's just about putting your energy in the right direction.
No, that's true. I mean, and the most important thing when it comes to relationship is loyalty. If love is an emotion, that means my loyalty is an emotion. So if I'm upset with somebody, I will justify my cheating based on my feelings. Oh, my man didn't fulfill me. Oh, my man wasn't there for me. He doesn't make me feel special. He doesn't. Okay, if he doesn't, walk away, then be with somebody else. But it's like you drop your standards and you do things that are out of your morals and ethics because you think love is based on, but it's not. It's a decision.
Yeah, and it's just mastering your emotion, like you said. And once you do, then you start behaving very differently in life. Because I used to be very impulsive based on how I feel, what I want to do. Now it's just thinking about like, what is that current situation and why do I feel like that? Now I'm trying to find why does it make me feel a certain way? Like if someone does something, it's like, okay, why do I get triggered? Because everybody's a reflection of yourself. So like, why is that person acting like that trigger me? Like you said, you shouldn't let anybody affect your emotions. So if they do, then ask yourself why. Why is that person like? What do you give them control on affecting yourself?
Yeah, it's like the most powerful thing in the world is self-control.
Mm-hmm.
You cannot stop the clouds from raining. You cannot change the weather. You cannot stop a flower from growing. You cannot change people. You cannot stop people from being who they are. The only power you have is self-control. And when you're always self-reflecting, like for example, you said the trigger thing. Some people would sit down for days and weeks being upset because the person triggered them. But
Mm-hmm.
instead, they should let go of that feeling and look at why am I triggered? Like why do people have so much control over me? Why do I give them the
Yeah.
button? They can press it whenever they want. I actually I think it was Salma Hayek, I think, the actress.
Yeah.
I watched a video of Salma Hayek saying, if I sit in front of you and you don't understand Spanish and I start insulting you in Spanish, you start laughing because you don't understand what I'm saying, but I am insulting you. But if I immediately added subtitles, then you're going to react because now you got offended. You made me trigger you. So whether you understand it or not, I was still insulting you. You get the point. So
Yeah.
it's like we are the ones that give meaning to people's words. And if we allow everyone to just trigger us and upset us and control our feelings and emotions, we're powerless. We are on a leash. Everyone can control us.
Yeah. Yeah, that's the way. It's like you can't just give control to everyone and mastering your emotion. And like you said, it's a everyday work. And that's what we like. I've seen you evolve and I've evolved a lot in the last 3, 4 years. And it's just about mastering your mindset, your emotion and all that stuff. And I know that you said that your purpose now is to teach. So how do you bridge, like right now you're in technology, what is coming next? Like you said, you kind of close some company, you kind of switch your focus. I see you're doing a lot of podcasts. Like, what is the goal? Like, where you're going with all that, and like, what's the plan, and how do you align it with your purpose?
So most of my tech companies, we work with an organization called Smile Train, and we do projects with the UN. So that's me giving back. That's also my purpose, active service. Okay, and my purpose of educating people and spreading light, I do it through my podcasts. That's where
Mm-hmm.
I send, small thoughts here and there that can awaken people. But I do a lot of public speaking about these things, and um, I'm also releasing a platform where I educate people. It's like master classes, but it's like basically taking my experiences and what I've learned and the unique way of me tailoring my message and just putting it somewhere and dumping it in a place where people who need it can find it. Because on social media, things get lost, you know? So
Yeah.
that's a huge business that's launching soon. And then I have another brand called Fix. It's Fix. Fix. Um, Fix is a brand that merges science with creativity to give people um an honest change in their health and lifestyle. So transparency when it comes to health and lifestyle, and it's basically, for example, like a lot of people take melatonin when they want to sleep, but melatonin is a hormone, and it's actually very dangerous for you to take melatonin, especially when people feel like, oh, I'm instead of taking like a 5 uh, mcg or a 5 mg, whatever, milligrams of melatonin, let me take 10 so I can sleep faster. But this has a lot of damage on your body. And therefore, I wanted to aid people in sleeping. Instead of letting them ingest melatonin, we created a pillow that has something called nanoparticles. And when you sleep on them and move at night, these particles, they burst and they release natural melatonin where you can breathe. Doesn't affect your body, but it aids in sleeping. So it's taking
Okay.
everything, yeah, it's taking like everything that people are selling you that is harming, giving it to you in the best, honest way ever. without affecting your lifestyle and health. So it's like this is also giving back, where you're being honest and transparent in your label.
Yeah, like kind of helping people with
Yeah.
their health, their mindset, all at the same time, and giving back.
Yeah. So yeah, and I enjoy it because right now I am not I'm yeah, of course we all want to make money, right? But I always believe that money is a necessity, not a priority. Which means I need money to thrive and grow, and to even live my purpose. To help people, I need money.
Yeah,
But that doesn't mean it's a priority where I'll step on people, or like I will lie and cheat and steal for money. No way. It's in the end it's just paper, right? And
yeah.
my morals and ethics go above everything. So yeah, it's we do things for money, of course, but at the same time we could be selling bullshit and making a lot of money, but we can also be honest and transparent and like
Yeah.
serving humanity and making money.
Yeah, totally. I get you on that because that's what I'm doing. It's like you can make money doing anything, like if you want, and it's nothing bad. You're not a bad person because you do it, but we made a choice not to do it. It's like I have a friend that started a vape company. Like cool, if you want to do vaping, people will buy it. It's like sell whatever you want, people will buy it.
Yeah.
But I decided at some point that I wanted to do things that are aligned and good for the people and the planet while making money. Like, and it doesn't mean you're a bad person. It's just a personal choice, and I respect you for doing that. And you're coaching. You want to coach like more women or men, or like it doesn't matter. Like, what do you see the vision in the next 5, 10 years for Sarah? What's next?
The coaching is for both. I know as a woman from the Middle East, it's not easy for me to break those barriers of culture and all that, but I did. I'm a rebel. And I am living my authentic, true self right now. And I love it, every bit of it. But because I'm a woman from the Middle East, I was categorized as a girl who's empowering women. I hate the word empowerment. So I'm here to inspire women, but I'm also here to send a message to men because I feel like this world can't work without both genders. And yeah, we don't compete with each other, we complete each other. So, and I want to be someone that educates both sides. Now, me in the future, I don't know, because to me, I don't overthink too much about the future or the past because they both don't exist. But I can promise you that tomorrow I'm going to be a better person than the person I am today. And that's my main goal every day. Wake up, self reflect, grow a little, and just be better every single day. So that's a guarantee in the future.
That's amazing. And do you meditate? Do you have like a gratitude practice, like all that stuff? Like how does it influence and make your life better in terms of happiness, in terms of finance, in terms of all that? Like I know that we talked about faith before. I have the same faith, not like I know for you guys it's Allah, or like the Muslim it's a certain direction. For me, it's in source, God, however you want to call it. I just have faith in life and faith in myself. But how do you get into meditation, breathing, and all the other modality? Do you use them?
Yeah, I am ruthless when it comes to spirituality. So I do meditate. I practice manifestation. I'm always aligning my frequency. I'm always trying to find ways. I'm very curious. So to connect with my higher self. So I'm doing all of these things because practicing your gratitude and meditation doesn't make you resilient. It's you surviving whatever you went through that makes you resilient. For you to be brave, you had to be scared one day. For you to be strong, you had to be weak at a certain point. So it's these low points that make you resilient. But when you practice affirmation, that gratitude, and you do meditation, you maintain that power that you gain. It helps you maintain.
Yeah.
It's a way of life. It's a guide. It's like a Google's map towards happiness and abundance. Basically, that's what meditation.
Yeah, it helps you focus your energy because wherever focus go, energy flows. So the thing is, if your gratitude and your focus on what's good in your life, it doesn't mean that there's nothing bad or nothing happening. It just means that you choose to focus where you want the focus to go
Yeah.
and to manifest more things in your life. That's why gratitude, that's why the meditation, that's why all that is amazing. And Do you read a lot of book? If yes, what's your top three book?
I don't read. I do Audible because I'm dyslexic. But
So what is your top three
my
the book?
my top three book. Well, there is a book that actually Ken introduced me to. I don't. He probably told you about it as well. Have he told you about The Way of a Superior Man?
Yeah, I read it damn a while ago. I have it on the desk over there. I make every man read it. And there's Dear Lover for the female version.
Yeah, no, I love this book, and it's the author is so smart and in the way of sending the message. So
Yeah.
yeah, I love this book. There are three other books, but I can't remember their name because I'm dyslexic. But I will share them with you. But they also have to do with like quantum physics, aligning your energy, looking at the dimensions of life and all these things, like deep, very, very deep, like spirituality stuff that not everybody can get unless you're into these things.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you know the author or
No, I don't. My God, it's so embarrassing. I don't remember names or because like I have a
no.
photogenic memory, so I just remember the cover of the book, but I don't remember. But I will share it with you. But I feel like, um, to be honest, I've read so many self growth book and all these things. Nothing helped me more than like spiritual books did, like alignment books, spirituality, life, and all that. Like they give you a clear vision of life and a clear understanding.
And
And
what do you
once
feel help you the most? Like when you say they help you, like because they're very like underlying, like they're very like I have a blank on the word in English, but they're very non-tangible. It's not like they say you have to do this. It's like they give you a message that's very subtle, like subtle. It's like this is what it should be, and whatever interpretation you make out of it. So when you say you read those books, what is like the impact you feel is doing the best for you?
you actually said something so important. You said they don't tell you how to do things, but they just teach you what life is about, and like they give you messages about everything in general, but they don't tell you how to do it
Mhm.
because
Yeah.
in spirituality, people have free will. They're not supposed to be told what to do. So yeah, you're born with a free will. You're supposed to make choices. You're supposed to make mistakes. That's how you learn. You're supposed to give yourself the permission to wonder and explore and just go out there and take your own decisions. Give yourself the permission to do that. And spirituality just shows you the path. And actually, let me put it this way: spirituality shows you the paths with an, and then you choose which path you want to take. So that's what I love about it, because most self growth books, they tell you you need to do this, you need to do that, you need to wake up in the morning. It's like, yeah, but what if that doesn't work for me? I mean, it worked for you, but I'm not you.
Mhm.
So that's what I like about spirituality: the flexibility of the understanding that you're a human.
Yeah, making your own choices. Like there is like when I teach people, I'll be teaching like things that, like you said, those are the things that you can do, or those are the things that I'm doing, or the things that every successful people I met are doing. And some people do a little more, some people do a little less. Then find whatever you want to do. And because whatever you want your morning routine to be, or whatever you want your routine in order to be your best self to be, it might be a little different. Like I might want to work out more than you, or I might want to meditate more than you, or maybe you want to do yoga. So there's no like perfect, like you said, there's multiple paths, there's multiple reality, there's multiple choices that you can make because of the free will, and then find what's best for you.
Yeah, 100%. So true.
Awesome. Is there any question that I didn't ask you, or advice, or things you want to talk about?
No, I think we spoke about so many interesting things. You never miss anything, Mike.
And okay, then one last question out of the blue. Like, what is the tips for a parent? I know you're a single mom,
Yeah.
so what do you feel was the best thing, or the best way for like tips for kid or parents or stuff like that?
Okay, I think the best tip for you, since you're going to be a dad soon, um, just because you created your child and you're bringing him or her into this life, it doesn't mean you own your child.
Yeah.
You were just a pathway for them to become whoever they want to be, however they want to be. So with my son, I let him make his choices. I love him for who he is. I never stop him from celebrating things the way he wants. I don't put a lot of rules. And I just teach him how to respect me. And if somebody loves you and respects you, they will never do you wrong. And I don't force what my parents forced on him. So I'm like, if you want to go to university, go. If you don't want to go, don't go. Be whoever you want to be in the future.
Yeah.
You want to work in McDonald's, you want to own a company, live your life. I let him choose his clothes. I let him express. I let him pick the sports he wants. It's like I put no rules because I gave birth to him. I don't control him.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
beautiful, and I know that that's one thing that I tell like everybody that I know that as kid. I'm like, I told them exactly that you don't control them. Like, and a lot of time parents, they're so stressed about, because you love the being, you're like, you want to control stuff or you want what's best for them, but by doing that, sometimes you put limiting belief or you put boundaries on them that shouldn't be there. And I remember one example. I was having a dinner with a friend of mine, and he was talking to me about his daughter, and we were talking about a specific situation that he's Italian, and he's like, family is everything. You got to respect your family. And he was complaining that she said she would attend a family dinner, and then last minute she changed her mind. She didn't want to go, and she went with friends. And he's like, I told her that family is the blah, blah. And I look at him, I'm like, that's your belief.
Yeah.
Like, don't push it on her, because she wanted, like, if I don't want to go somewhere, I just don't go. Like,
Yeah.
if right now I'm like, hey, Sarah, I know we were supposed to have dinner. Look, right, today is not a good day for me. Let's reschedule. I'd rather say this on how I feel. And the person, it's like, shouldn't take it personally. It has nothing to do with them. Maybe it was just not the day that I wanted to hang out. I'm like, yo, I want to be alone. Or she wanted to hang out with a friend. And now you're pushing your belief that family is the most important thing and this and that. And I'm like, sometimes I've been closer to my friend than some family member. Like, your close family, but the whole family doesn't mean because they're blood that you have to be closer. That's a belief that you have.
Yeah.
Maybe I don't have that belief. So I think it's a really good advice of, don't try to control or push your belief. Try to give whatever you can and let them pick what
Yeah,
they want to pick.
and I think a lot of parents forget to ask their kids. Like, for example, if I was your friend, I would ask my daughter, "What makes you happy? What really makes you happy?" Because by forcing her to go, he's doing what makes him happy. But it's not about
Yeah.
him. It's not about you. You don't own the person. She's a free. Yeah. So no, you're
Yeah.
100% right.
And it's always hard. I get it. Like, because for years, even, it's not even my kid, it was my mom. Like, we all have those things with parents, like people around us. It's like, you know better sometimes than they know. And I wanted best for my mom, and I was trying to control her because I know and I can see clearly as a coach all the mistakes that she makes, or all the business stuff that she's not doing, or, oh, she should sell the house now, she should do this, she should do that. And then you're trying to control their life. But like you said, everybody has paths and they have to do it. And we talked about it for relationship. Sometimes we want people to change and we expect them to change, but they'll change when they want to change. So I had to, like, learn it the hard way, and it caused me a lot of dis-ease in the past, like bleeding from my gut and stuff because of control. I'm like, I know better. You got to do what I say. But at some point, do your life. I can advise you, and same for your kid. And I know it must be hard sometimes, because on top of it, you gave birth. So the fuck, you're listening to me. So
Yeah,
it's
no,
like,
exactly. It's like, if you give a flower more water and sunlight, it won't grow faster. People grow in their own pace, in their own time. You cannot.
yeah,
And the thing is, when you love somebody, you always want the best for them. That's why you get frustrated when they're not doing the best. But you
yeah.
just need to learn how to let go, because everybody has their own time. Everybody has their own way.
Yeah, no, that's a beautiful way to end the podcast. It's like, whether it's relationship, kid, parents, family, friend, let them be the way that they want to be. And if something bothers you, or if something doesn't align, just communicate, and communicate in a way that, I feel that way because of this. Not like, you make me feel or you did that. It's like,
Yeah.
hey, Sarah, like, when you said that, I felt that way. Like, is it that what was your intention of saying this? Or maybe don't say this in the future, like, because it hurt me or whatever. And then it's just, communication is the key. And I think that that's what we need. And it's very important for the kid, because I feel like we're getting lost right now. So parents have a duty to educate their kid and give them the best, so that the new generation and this new planet that we're going in thrives the best way possible.
Yeah, 100%.
That's amazing. Tell them where they can find you. What's your Instagram? Do you have a YouTube? Tell them your podcast. Like, just share whatever they can find you.
You can find me on all social media platforms. Like, there isn't one that I'm not on. Okay. It's Sara _ Al Madani _ That's where you can find me.
Okay, amazing. So guys, go give Sara a follow. She does a lot of good talks. I've seen her, like, she's crushing podcasts left and right now, spreading the love, spreading the good information. So thank you for joining us, guys. I hope that you learned something, and I hope that you can take an example of people that work towards their goal and their life improving every day.